Here's my theory of what's going on. Almost everybody in America pumps their own gas. And so they stand at the pump for 3 to 5 minutes getting really mad. And they do it on average twice a week. And so there's this wave building. So we had the first couple of days we got like 1,200 or 1,500 a day. And then I had dinner with Sean Hannity, and I did his Hannity and Combs one night, and I did his radio show the next day. And by the end of the next day, we were at 45,000. Yesterday, we passed 1 million. So 1 million Americans have now joined up in American Solutions. We've added 70,000 since yesterday at noon. And it just keeps coming in. I sent an email to Gina Norris, Chuck's wife, and said, why don't you guys do a YouTube for us for our petition drive? And they went down to a local gas station, and she was the cameraman. And she shot 90 seconds of Chuck doing something. We then had 2 of our young people at American Solutions who took that. It was sent up as an MP3 file. They edited it, turned it into a YouTube video, and put it on the air, and it got 200,000 views in a couple of days at 0 cost. We just put up a commercial that I did that we launched by having Hannity and Combs show it for free. And all over the country, what's happening is talk radio hosts are putting our bumper sticker on their website with a link to American Solutions. So if you go to Hannity, you'll see right up here. If you go to Greta, it's on her site. I think it's on Rush Limbaugh's site. And the result has been a steady increase in acceleration.
We like Mark Levin, Mr. Speaker. We like Mark Levin.
Yeah. Well, I think Mark's probably got it on his site. We'll check. I'll give you the other example. My wife also likes this name. We were told a few minutes ago that we actually passed MoveOn.org in web traffic to the left. So there's a very interesting argument starting. And they, by the way, have now launched a website that is anti-drilling, which I think is terrific. I mean, if everybody on the left wants to line up and say, you're not paying enough, let's keep sending the money to Saudi Arabia. It makes them so happy, you know. And let's make sure that Iran and Russia have all the money they need. I just think that people are going to think this is nuts.
Questions?
Mr. Speaker, there was a oil refinery that the voters voted on in South Dakota, and it was approved by the voters after a historic vote and debates and everything else, and now the left is trying to stop this thing from being built by going to the courts.
Right.
They don't seem to have much respect for our democratic processes if they're willing to ignore the vote of the people, a democratic process, and run to the courts. How do we fight that?
You fight it straight up by telling the truth and getting the American people to choose. There's an ideology on the left that would like everyone to walk. You know, I mean, if you look at what they're saying and how they're behaving, they would close down every oil well. They would lock up all the oil shale in the United States. We have. I would say if the choice this November were between a party that wanted to have more energy at a lower cost and a party that wanted to have less energy at a higher cost, I'm not so sure you wouldn't see an amazing turnaround in public attitude in this country. I have 2 grandchildren, Maggie who's 8 and Robert who's 6. And I thought that unless we had very substantial change, that it was very unlikely that they would be able to compete with China and India 25 years from now. And 25 years from now is not very far. I mean, they'll be 33 and 31. And so I began to look at what would it take for us to be competitive in the world market, to remain the most, thank you very much, Steve, to remain the most successful country economically and to have the kind of dynamic entrepreneurial society we've had up till now. And we decided there were 7 zones that had to have fundamental change. Litigation, regulation, taxation, education, health, energy, and infrastructure. And we began to lay out a tripartisan organization called American Solutions. And the name was important, and this is where I was so grateful to Simi and Malik for helping launch it. Because first of all, it's about solutions. And solutions is a much higher standard than philosophy or ideas or proposals. Solutions have to be things that would actually work. Second, it wasn't conservative solutions, it wasn't Republican solutions, it was American solutions. And our goal was to set up a model that was about 80% of the Republican Party and about 70% of the independents and at least 50% of the Democrats. And so it would be genuinely a tripartisan model. Last year, we did two major things. The first is we held a Solutions Day workshop on September 27th, which we'll do again this year. It was on the internet, it was on television. The result was about 100,000 people participated in new ideas and new approaches. And it was done on a bipartisan basis. There were Democrats also involved. Then we came back and we took 6 national surveys last year, and we've taken 1 survey so far this year, and we looked for issues in which there was an absolute majority of Democrats, an absolute majority of Republicans, and an absolute majority of independents. What we were looking for were red, white, and blue issues rather than red versus blue issues, and we found over 100. And we found that people, actually the American people have a lot of common sense. It's the elites that are nuts. But the average person actually has a lot of common sense.